So you want to learn how to play guitar. This is how I learned. That's how I learned. I did that for every day. Well, not every day, but as often as I could. I put dedication into learning how to play guitar. Um, I would practice this over and over, up and down the strings like this on a daily basis. When I was learning how to play guitar, after doing that enough times, my fingers would start hurting. That's quite common because these strings and stuff are small, and so my skin on my fingertips was soft, and I would end up pushing into the bone or the nerve and stuff. And when I got to that point and stuff, I figured out, okay, so I need to figure out why this is happening and if there's a way around it. So I looked up on YouTube. I asked people, why do my fingers hurt when I play guitar? And they explained to me, well, it's because you got soft skin. And so when you start learning how to play and stuff, that soft skin does not take the impact of the strings right off the bat. So the easiest way to get around that is to, when your fingers do start hurting from pushing on the strings and playing, you should actually stop doing that, let your skin heal up. It may take about a day, and focus on something else with the guitar. For example, so now I'm not using my fingers and stuff because if they were hurting right now, I wouldn't be able to use them. Otherwise, I'd start making them bleed. And if you end up making your fingers bleed, then you're gonna have to wait longer before you can come back to this, because you're gonna have to wait for it to the bleeding to obviously form a scar, and then wait for that scar to go away before you get back to this. So when your fingers start hurting, don't be using them anymore. Instead, work on something else. There's all kinds of things you could do to learn how to play guitar that does not require you to push on these frets. It'll probably take about a week, maybe two, some people maybe even longer than that, for your fingers to build up tougher skin to where you can sit there, especially on the smaller strings. This is the high E string right here, and pushing on these high E strings right here, since it's a smaller string, it's the same thing. It's kind of like if you were to go outside with no shoes and socks on and walk on gravel. It's going to be painful on your feet. I can do it, not because I've been doing it for a while, but I can do it because I already have tough skin at the bottom of my feet. You know, it does still hurt to step on sharp rocks, but I can do it. I don't do it purposely, though. Only if I just don't feel like putting on shoes to go grab the mail or whatnot. But yeah, so you can sit there and work on strumming. Because this right here is part of learning how to play guitar. Trying to pick out different strings without looking at the strings and strumming on them. There's multiple ways you can do this. My fingers are open when I play, so I can rest my fingers on the body of the guitar and I'm sitting here. You can do it like this as well. If you don't have a pick or you don't want to use a pick, yes, you can sit there and I don't have this technique down myself yet, but you can also use your fingers to pick. You can use all these methods right here to start teaching yourself how to do things besides just continuously doing this over and over, making your fingers really painful. That pain will eventually go away. I had that pain myself the first time I played, the second day, the third day, the fourth day. It did take about a week or two and stuff for that pain to start going away. I never did make my fingers bleed though. Once my fingers started hurting from pushing down on these, I would take a break from that and I would watch videos on how to strum, how to play, do research, guitars, instruments, whatnot. Now, when I was talking about dedication, the first thing I thought of was, besides the inspiration, finding other people playing guitar, hearing sounds that I wanted to play, music that I love to listen to and I want to learn how to play, or even just hearing something in a movie that I want to try to learn how to play. I found that having a goal was very important. So, for example, I've got about 4, 5, 6 songs that I'm currently working on learning how to play, included from some Pink Floyd songs, some AC/DC songs. Those were kind of songs that I used to enjoy listening to. To even simpler songs, like it's currently Christmas time right now, and I did want to learn a Christmas song, so I learned how to play Jingle Bells. Very easy song to sit there and learn how to play. But at the same time, you can take courses online or go to instructors, or even in school if you can find a way to go to school and learn how to play, to learn music theory in this process. I have actually learned a little bit of music theory myself. For example, a part of music theory is understanding the notes of the strings. So all these strings right here actually have notes at every single fret. The first one, is what they call the open string notes. So my guitar is currently tuned in standard E tuning. We'll get to that later. So when I strum this first string, it's an E. Second string, A. Third string, D. Fourth string, G, B, and then back to E. So the top string and the bottom string are both E's. Music theory will teach you about those notes, about each individual fret and what the notes are on each individual fret. A question I get quite often is chords, common chords to use. There's not really, that's kind of a generalized question, chords. So, first off, to the definition I understand of what a chord is. A chord is multiple strings strummed at the same time, but whatever the first note is that you're strumming in that chord is what that chord is actually called. For example, this is what's known as a G chord. Now you notice I'm using my bottom 3 fingers to play it. That's not the only way to play it. There's the top 3 fingers playing the same chord. So there are multiple ways to play these same chords. That's one chord, that's another chord, that's another chord, that's another chord. Music theory will teach you about those chords and how to understand what the names of those chords are. But these are not the only chords. Playing strings up here are not the only chords. You may be familiar with or may not be familiar with what's called power chords. 2 strings strummed. Now you get to 3 strings, it's more considered a chord, but it's still a chord. Still chords. So, when I first started learning how to play, which was like 3 to 5 months ago, I was told that the keys to learning how to play, like I said, are dedication, focus, inspiration, commitment, having goals. If by dedication I mean you got to work at it. You want to be a great basketball player, you got to exercise, put the work in to be better, and you got to do it on a daily basis or as often as you can, whenever you can find time to do it. Great thing about a guitar is you're constantly in your room all the time, or at least in a room all the time, and it's not that hard to pick up a guitar and just sit there and start strumming. Get yourself used to finger picking, using a pick. I'm still working on learning how to using multiple fingers to pick with. You can pick 2 strings at the same time. That way. But so if you don't even have a guitar yet, that would be the first step. So along the lines of goals, I would say that if you want to learn how to play guitar, you should write down some goals. In fact, I've got a list right here of stuff that I am currently working on learning. Now this list right here is actually my notes for this video, but I do have things written in this notebook right here and stuff of things that I'm currently working on playing, other things I want to learn how to play. So whatever it is you want to play, classical guitar, country music, metal, the equipment's going to need to reflect off of that. This is obviously an electric guitar and stuff. It's not plugged in. I can sit here and play it. I don't need an amp to play it. I didn't need an amp to learn how to play it. I still don't. The amps are helpful with an electric guitar or acoustic guitar or any other guitar, but it's not mandatory. You can purchase cheaper stuff and get by with that. But when I first bought this guitar, the first thing I thought of was when I went to the music store to buy it, I have no idea what I'm looking at. I don't know anything about guitars. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. None of it. So I am a man in a foreign country trying to understand about guitars, instruments, and I want to be educated on it because I want to learn how to play. So I looked, it's called research. Go to YouTube, ask friends and family if you have any that play guitar. Go into multiple stores and ask people about it. Tell them you want to learn how to play some country music or some metal music or whatnot, and they can kind of help you out. Don't rely on just one person. Get multiple opinions about it. Find people that even play the music that you want to play and see how they started, what they first played, how they learned how to play. And that'll kind of get you started. But when you go into a music store to play music and stuff, you trying to find the instrument to play, many people will tell you this. You need to find something that's comfortable. Something that's comfortable as can be on the fingers and stuff as far as the strings are concerned, because there are different types of strings, different sizes, different brands. There are also a number of different types of guitars. You got guitars that are like really wide body. This one's a thin body, obviously with electric and stuff, but there's shorter guitars, there's longer guitars, there's vintage guitars. So ask around, ask a lot of questions. Is a guitar tuned? How much maintenance does the guitar require? What about repairs on guitars if I end up breaking a string? Good example of that. So this is one guitar that I have, and that one's not too expensive to maintain or too expensive to repair. But this is another guitar I have. This one is a little more expensive to repair, especially when it comes to restringing it. It's got a different setup on it. So when you buy a guitar, be sure to ask about how to maintain, set up, repair, whatnot, the guitar. This one right here is obviously a Jackson. You can find a website for Jackson, or you can go to YouTube and stuff and ask about Jackson guitars. This other one I have, which is my favorite, is a Music Man guitar. It's a Stingray. They are also known for making bass guitars. I love this because it's got great pickups on it. I can hear the sound real good. It's got the switch right here for lead and lead and rhythm. It's only got two knobs on it: volume knob, gain knob, or and then a tone knob right here. Like I said, I don't know everything about them yet. I'm still learning myself. 3 to 5 months into playing this, so. But yes, ask a bunch of questions about the instrument, about who could help you out. There are instructors out there to get you started. Just like there are coaches out there for sports teams, there are people out there that team up together for racing, for all kinds of stuff. Well, there's no difference in this. So that would be the first step. And the second step would be to either watch YouTube videos on how to start playing, get signed up for courses, whether it's in the stores or online courses. I found 2 online courses I could use and stuff. One was Guitar Tricks. I used that at first. The second one was Justin Guitars, which I'm still working on that one right there. Currently learning about triads, and also still trying to memorize all the notes on the fretboard. But that is pretty much the start of it right there. Once you get your guitar and you want to learn more about it and stuff, like I said, the first thing you should really work on doing is just trying to get this down. And this can be played anywhere, so you play it up here. When you're playing with 4 fingers like this, and yes, you got 4 fingers, I suggest using them all, because you're going to need to learn how to stretch your fingers. For example, a song that I'm currently working on learning how to play, it has a stretch in it to where I'm trying to stretch my fingers like this. My fingers don't really stretch that well, and I don't play it that well. So because of my fat fingertips, I have to, when I play it, adjust my fingers, which means I'm slowing down on the song, and there's no problem with slowing down, but so I will strum. That sounds right. That's a little off. And I can feel it in this finger right here. This finger is actually muting the second finger from the bottom. So readjust that finger to get that sounding better. And the more you play, the better that'll sound. There's also another one on that same song where I'm stretching my pinky finger. I think it's like that. Yeah. Now when I'm normally playing this and stuff, I'm going from this to putting my pinky down on that same string, so I'm going, and then trying to stretch my pinky down to here without making too many adjustments as a speed thing. But like I said, speed's not very important, so you learn to maybe slide your fingers a little bit during that first part, and you can play that. But I'm still practicing and learning at it, so like I said, it does take time. It's something you gotta dedicate yourself to. First off, if you don't have the instrument, find out what you want to learn how to play. Ask around about what kind of instrument would help you learn how to play a certain type of song that you want to learn how to play, or whatever your goals may be for learning how to play guitar. Find a way to stay committed to it. Whether it be in between movies, whatever. When you have 10-15 minutes to spare, you're waiting on a scheduled appointment, it doesn't take much just to pick up a guitar and... Now I can tell you what most of these notes are that I'm playing. So E's for the top string there. I hit that very top string, put my finger on that first fret right there. That's an F. And then the second, F sharp, G, G sharp. And I can go through that. Music theory has taught me that much so far. I got a lot more I've learned, but it's much more to get into. But that is where I would actually start off with. Getting your fingers used to this, getting your skin built up in strength and stuff to be able to play this consistently. When your fingers start hurting and stuff, like I said, get used to a strumming pattern. When it comes to playing guitar, keeping your guitar in tune will help, because you're going to end up needing to train your ears on these sounds. Trying to mimic a sound off of a movie or off of a song you're trying to play. You're going to want to try to start listening to those notes and going, okay, where's that note at? Nope, nope, nope. Okay, there it is, right? Something like that. Okay, so, and when you do that as a beginner, you're going to be sitting here trying to do this sort of thing. Okay, that doesn't sound quite right. I'm not, no. And you're going to make adjustments and constantly make mistakes. It's perfectly fine. The key to this right here is focus. Take your time, be patient. If you start finding yourself getting upset with it, put it down. Go watch a YouTube video on how to play guitar. Go watch a movie, something to take your mind off of for a little bit. Come back to it and do it again. When I first started, I think I was told and stuff, 15 minutes to a half hour a day will get you started. From that point and stuff, it's all on you to try to keep your goals in mind, your focus, your inspiration. And every morning when I wake up and stuff, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm looking for YouTube videos on people doing some great things with music, guitars, anybody live streaming. Marty Music, I'm always watching that. He helps a lot. He has a lot of information on his website or on his YouTube channel and stuff. I've subscribed to him, and I think he's a great guitar player, and he's one of my greatest inspirations right now, besides the musicians I already know. For example, so Slash, he has a signature part. Now my guitar is not tuned for Slash's music. This is tuned in E standard. His guitar when they were played was E flat standard. Something, the standard and those words right there will make sense when you start doing the research on music. But I learned how to play this. Like I said, it doesn't quite sound right because this is no amp for one, not the right tuning for the song, but this is kind of how he was playing the song. And there's a lot of jumping around on the strings right there. It took me, when I first started learning how to just do that part, it took me a good week or two just to get that part down. And I don't play it very fast and stuff, but it's a great exercise because it teaches me how to jump around on the strings. Also how to move my fingers around. I still have to look at the fretboard. Eventually I should be able to get to the point where I can sit there and play that without looking at the fretboard. But, like I said, that's the start. And that right there will last you, just buying a guitar. It doesn't have to be an expensive guitar, just something that that plays well and is comfortable for you to hold and play. That's the key things to finding a guitar to play. But like I said, when you go to find that guitar and stuff, ask questions. If you're in a specific place, for example, you're trying to buy something offline, or you're at a pawn shop buying something, that's fine, but they may not be able to answer your questions. So go to people that play the music you like, go to music stores, ask questions, and then find the guitar you want, and maybe even get pictures of that guitar if you find one at a pawn shop you want that's cheap enough for you. Take it to back to the music store, back to people you know, say, hey, what would it take to get this instrument to play well for something I want to play or to meet my goals? So I will try to make more videos in the future. This is actually my first video I'm trying to make to help new musicians or beginner musicians, or just to try to inspire people to play music. So let me know what you think. I'm still working on trying to figure out how to make these videos and get them all set up properly, so that's another thing I'm researching, as well as learning how to play guitar. I probably spend more time playing my guitar than what I do with the video stuff, but I'm getting there. So thank you.